So before we go on with today's Pokemon Go short play episode, I'd just like to put out a small little PSA to everyone who watches this video. While it may seem like common sense, I just want to remind people that while playing this game, especially if you're out driving or riding a bicycle or even just walking in like really busy areas, always put your safety first. Don't do anything stupid, and especially if you're driving a car, make sure you either have someone who is doing the Pokemon for you, or you always pull over and catch your Pokemon or do whatever you are doing. As we always know, don't use your phone while drive. I don't really want to encourage people to go and do that without reinforcing some type of safety beforehand. Same thing if you're riding a bicycle, make sure you don't do anything stupid while doing that, because we love you guys. We want you guys to stick around, and I don't want to wake up and find that Pokemon Go has taken someone's life prematurely. So we don't want that happening. So please be safe, guys. Don't risk your life in order to catch that legendary Pokemon. So without further ado, let's jump into day 2 coverage of Pokemon Go.
What is up, awesome people? It is currently 18 to 5 in the morning, so this is day 2 of our Pokemon Go coverage. And the reason why I'm going at this early in the morning is because Pimp keeps complaining and raging because people keep sending him Dratini photos on Twitter saying that they've caught a Dratini, and now he really badly wants one. So we're heading out quite early in the morning and trying to find a Dratini. So we attempted this last night and to no avail. No Dratini was found. So we're going to try again in a few other areas that we haven't tried. We've been given a few suggestions by fellow subscribers in regards to where we might be able to find a Dratini. So that's basically what we're going to be doing for the start of day 2. And then after that, I'm going to be heading to bed. As you can probably tell, I haven't actually slept. I've been up all night editing day 1's coverage. So yeah, without further ado, we'll go into a fade and we'll be heading off to our first spot. We actually have 2 spots in mind. We have a swamp area that's got like a pond in the middle. We may even find a Dragonair. There's been rumours that Dragonair can be found in ponds and all that, very similar to how in the real games you can find Dragonair with a Super Rod. And we have I guess something similar to like the beach area, but this heads out to the ocean. It's kind of like where Rob parks their boats. That's the other area we're going to try, because we have been giving a few suggestions there. Other than that, we're going to have to search the entire suburbs around us if we can't find Dratini there, which will be fun. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's go into day 2's coverage, and hopefully I can level up from level 3 and try and get as close as I can to level 5. So right, let's do this. Alrighty, so first Pokemon for the day, we have a Koffing. Alright, so time to catch this little sucker. Alright, so in the ball it goes. 1 shake, 2 shake, 3 shake. There we go. So yeah, it is still pretty early in the morning, as you can see. Unfortunately, the service went down as we went out to do our little searching, so that was down for half an hour, which really sucked. So there we go, Koffing was added to the Pokédex. So 50 to evolve it into a Weezing, and it came with Acid and Dark Pulse, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's our first Pokemon done for day 2. So let's continue on with our Pokemon searching. Alright, so I finally picked up an egg from a Pokestop, so that means I can go into Pokemon menu on eggs, and this one will hatch in 10k, so if I walk 10k's this will hatch. So let's start the incubator, And let's hatch this little sucker. So let's see what this hatches into after 10k. So that might take a little bit to do since, well, combination of driving and walking. And 10k isn't exactly a small distance either.
No, it's not.
No, that's very long.
Okay.
Alright, so unfortunately because I was half asleep, I didn't actually get a chance to do some really good narration here. So this one's going to be post-commentated just to make up for the terror bad narration I did in the morning. So anyways, after all that, I managed to find a slowpoke just driving around with Pipnite. So this one was relatively easy to catch, as you could see on the screen. It went in the ball pretty easy. And I think as well, just before this or something, I found another Poke Egg after finding the one that I put in the incubator. And funny enough, I think it was like 1k to hatch it compared to like the 10k egg that I have incubating at this point in time. So that Slowpoke had, at the top of my head, it had Confusion and Water Pulse. So anyways, we're continuing on. We're just driving along after just, I think, a minute after the Slowpoke, and we found this Krabby just in the middle of the road. How did this Krabby not get run over by a car? I will never know. So yes, I did have some questions in regards to did we have to go to watery areas to find water-type Pokemon? And the answer is no, because I did find Krabby in the middle of the road. I found Goldeen in the middle of the road, which you'll see actually in the next part, actually. But I've also seen quite a few water Pokemon in the middle of the road or just in park areas. So yeah, it's pretty cool that maybe what I said was incorrect, that certain Pokemon pop up in certain locations, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because otherwise you'd have to search very hot areas for like magma or really, I guess, tundra or really cold areas for Pokemon like Jinx, etc. So anyways, we got ourselves the Goldeen. As I said, this one was found just in the middle of a main street actually, so yeah, this again was another easy Pokemon to catch. I hadn't actually caught Goldeen prior to this particular Goldeen. Other than that, I keep finding Goldeens now, so that's really good. I have a chance to evolving Goldeen into Seeking, and I think this one took 50 Goldeen candies to evolve into Seeking. So yeah, we just went along that main street until we found this awesome Pokemon. Now, around this time as well, my phone was going absolutely crazy because the Pokemon Go servers were playing up once again. So, meanwhile, we have this Pidgeot who is really, really strong. If you watch Pipnite's video or perspective on this, he actually caught a much stronger Pidgeot, and yet he caught his so much easier than me. But then again, he didn't have to do this particular way. I don't know why, but every time I swiped, it just didn't seem like I was throwing the Pokeball further enough to catch the Pidgeot. I tried raising my phone higher to see if I could get some elevation on the Pokeball. It just didn't seem to be working. I wasn't too sure if that was server lag or something, because after we caught this Pidgeot, which I will eventually do, the whole server just dropped out and my whole phone just froze. I couldn't do anything, so the whole recording had to end there, unfortunately, because Pokemon Go servers crashed the entire phone and I had no phone for half an hour because that's how bad the crash was. So there we go, we finally caught the Pidgeot, and the Pidgeot I think had a combat power of 100 and very low. It was actually considering quite low because Pipnite caught his about 200 or 300 and mine was only at 198. So yeah, but it had Hurricane and Steel Wing. That was a plus, I guess. So yeah, we'll continue on with our Pokemon journey after the servers go up and I have a sleep, so that won't be probably until the afternoon. Alrighty, so it's now 7:11 p.m. The same day as the first part of this video. And unfortunately, because of how tired I was and because of how peeved I was that the Pokemon Go servers went down, I actually forgot to put my GoPro on charge before going to bed. So when I woke up to use my GoPro and do the previous PokeGo session, I had no battery on my camera, meaning I couldn't do any recording. So unfortunately, this video is going to be just a bit slightly different to what the previous video was. But before I go on to what I did in that PokeGo session, we have a Pidgey and a Rattata almost looking like they're sitting on top of each other. So let's catch both of these. Oh, that was weird. The whole server just lagged up. So I lost the Rattata for some odd reason. Everyone watched that. Let's see if I can do this blindly. Nope, there's no way in this wide world I can do that. So yeah, we got a Pidgey like right in front of my computer. So come here, Pidgey. Oh my goodness. I said I had mastered the one-hand catching, but I don't know about that. So yeah, look at my awesome Razer Chroma keyboard. This thing can be annoying at times too because it just, I don't know if it's like a firmware issue, but it's just dropping out all the time. But yeah, we caught ourselves another Pidgey, and because I have 23 Pidgey candy, I can evolve it into a Pidgeotto, and that will complement my Pidgeot that I currently have, and that'll mean that I can go into my Pokédex. It's a bit of a waste though, because I'd like to raise up the Pidgeot in order to use it in Pokemon gyms, which is something I am now eligible to do since I am almost level 7, so that kind of just shows how much stuff I was doing around the time that I wasn't recording. So much happened because it didn't rain, no servers dropped, like it was clear playing, it was fun, it was actually really cool, and at the same time I met 2 local Pokemon Go players, so that was really cool, and it was really fun exchanging Pokemon locations with each other and sharing tips with each other. Like I met a brand new player who just started playing only yesterday when I was doing my day 1 coverage. And he was like asking me how do Pokespots work and where have I seen other Pokemon, and he told me a few other Pokemon that I hadn't seen. And funny enough, when I start talking about some of the locations that we went to, I'll go through what he saw, because that was a really cool Pokemon that I would like to go and catch. Alrighty, so the first thing I want to point up is obviously the egg progress. I did put an egg on, and that was 10 Ks to hatch it in total. I have currently done 3 Ks out of 10 Ks. I still have 7 Ks to go, so 3 Ks worth of walking today. That was really good. I actually don't know if I did that much Ks from the time I put the egg on incubation in the first part of the video to when the whole service crashed. I probably did about 200 meters. That was probably about it. So you can kind of tell just how much walking has actually made on this particular egg. And I now have 9 eggs, or sorry, I have 8 eggs waiting to hatch. So I have like a couple of 2K eggs and a lot of 5K eggs as well. So no other 10K eggs, which is really good. So I'm not really too sure if the more Ks you have to walk, the rarer or more powerful the Pokemon is going to be. That's kind of something I'm going to have to find out naturally while I'm hatching these particular Pokemon. So yeah. Another thing as well, that the reason why I have so many eggs is because I had 2 Pokespots really close to each other, so I could walk to one, and then I found that the other Pokespot that I already checked had already refreshed, so I could walk back to that Pokespot and get those Pokeballs and eggs, whatever, from that, then walk back to the other Pokespot and do the same thing, rinse and repeat until they finally didn't refresh anymore. So that was really cool. That's how I got all these eggs. It was quite fun, and as I said, I knocked off a few Ks as well. So there's like no Pokemon close by. So at the same time as well, because of the whole server crash that happened this morning, I did end up losing my incense. I did throw incense on in hopes of finding like some really rare Pokemon around the CBD of our area, but unfortunately with the server crash, I ended up losing that incense. It was like my last incense. Until I grew to level 5, I used it, and that's why I caught so many Pokemon within that time as well. I got a lot of potions, I got a lot of revives as well from Pokestops. Again, just doing that whole walking between 2 Pokestops. I'm not really too sure if that was a glitch or something, but I'm pretty sure that shouldn't happen. So because we're going out again later today, so Pidgeot can catch a whole bunch of Dratinis, I've stocked up on incense because they are just so handy to have. We also did a test as well with the incense to see if they did make an influence on the encounter rate or what Pokemon you encountered. And yes, they do make a pretty big influence. I had no incense on and Pidgeot did, and he found Bulbasaurs in an area that wasn't showing Bulbasaurs for me at all. It was like literally in his nearby Pokemon was Bulbasaur. We checked mine, no Bulbasaur at all. He found another Seadra,
whereas I had no seizure at all on my screen. So he was finding all these Pokemon that in an area where I found absolutely zips. So yes, they do make a difference if you're wondering. I also picked up some lure modules as well because the Dratinis are popping up at a Pokestop, which is really cool. So one of us can activate a lure module. They'll probably be me since I've bought them. So we can activate this at a Pokestop, and this will lure Pokemon to that particular Pokespot as well. So if we combine this with incense, we should be able to rack in a decent amount of both Dratinis and other types of Pokemon. Mainly Magikarps as well, because Magikarp are popping up at this particular Pokespot, which is really cool. So if we get really lucky, we might be able to get our Gyarados tonight as well, since we do need 400 Magikarp candy to get the Gyarados. I also found, I was given an egg incubator as well from a level up to level 5, I do believe, because we did need the egg level 5 to do gyms as well. So I didn't want to show off the gyms until I had a camera in my hand. So I have held off on that because that is a huge part of this game. It is probably one of the features that I do personally enjoy the most after seeing what it does on Pinlight's Pokemon Go. And yeah, I do really encourage people to go off and race Pokemon, enter gyms, and try and conquer as many gyms as you can. It'd be quite funny. You might be able to meet a lot of people locally too for that reason, since you do need to be in distance of the gyms too in order to fight them. So I think I might actually put a 2 km egg on incubator just as a control test to see if a lower kilometer egg is a weaker Pokemon compared to a 10k egg being a more powerful Pokemon. So let's incubate that with the extra incubator that I picked up from a level up. And also with the level ups as well, I saw you get given more Pokeballs. You get incense as well from level ups. I'm not sure if you get it from every level up, but I know from my level 5 level up, I did get an incense, which is pretty cool. Alright, so I guess people are quite interested into what Pokemon I found in today's little horde. Well, I actually found quite a bit of Pokemon, as you can see. I got up to the Pidgeot in this morning, so from upwards you can see I've got that many Pokemon. And yes, we did find a war turtle, funny enough, down near a nightclub. So this is also the same area where we found Dratini as well, so that was pretty cool. So war turtle needs 100 Squirtle candy to evolve into Blastoids. Mine isn't exactly the greatest. I'm kind of hoping I might find another war turtle, or I might level up another Squirtle to go for the higher combat power Blastoids. I didn't have an incense up for this one actually, so that was really lucky. It was kind of the same kind of luck I had with Staryu on the beach, I do believe, or Kakuna. Then I found Squirtles as well, so now I have 2 starter Pokemon in my party. I have both Bulbasaur, which I got from the Professor, and I got Squirtle. Now, Pinlight did start with Squirtle, and he caught Squirtles as well, and it turns out these are much stronger than the Squirtle you were given from Professor Willow. So that's really cool as well. We found Magikarps, quite a fair bit of them. We found Voltors, Poliwags, Psyducks, Tentacles, Shelders, Magnemites, which you find from main area. And yeah, there is our Dratini. Now, I actually found a really powerful Dratini on my first go, and unfortunately, because of how powerful it was, the circle was almost red, and I tried catching it, and it ran away because it was just too strong for me. It was like combat power 200 or something. It was like, wow, I would have loved to have caught that. So Dratini needs 25 Dratini candy to evolve into Dragonite, and I would assume it needs like 50 or maybe even 100 to go into Dragonite. So as you can probably tell, we're going to be at this one particular spot for quite some time trying to get Magikarp candy and Dratini candy to get both Dragonite and Gyarados, since that's going to take a very long time, especially since Dratini isn't like a guaranteed Pokemon either. It's kind of like a pop in, pop out one, wait a little bit, pop in, pop out again once you've caught it. So it's kind of on the annoying side, but with patience, it's achievable. And we caught a bunch of other Pokemon as well, but that was about it, because I was searching one area with incense for a little bit, for 30 minutes, used all of that, and then I was just out looking at normal encounter rate. So because I got all of this, I can finally go through and release a few
to save up some Pokemon space, and I might be able to evolve a few Pokemon as well, because as you can see, I've got quite a bit of Pokemon now. So I'm just... Alright, so this is looking a lot cleaner now. There shouldn't be as many dupes. Oh, I do Eradicate. Oh, I'm 5 off for Eradicate. I thought I had enough to do Eradicate, but I didn't. 32. Oh, I need 3 more candy. That's annoying. I need to go out. If that Rattata didn't disappear, I would have had enough to get Eradicate. Damn. Another one there. Oh wait, we might get lucky. Do I have 3 Rattata laying in my box? Hopefully, hopefully. Nope, that's not gonna be the case tonight. Alright, so yeah, that's all the Pokemon that I managed to hoard up in that entire time that I didn't have a camera, which I do apologise for. I obviously derped there and forgot to put my camera on charge. So hopefully if we do go out again tonight, I'll have the camera on with me again so you guys can witness the Pokemon hoarding process go on. So yeah, so when I was talking to this trainer, we're going back to this whole topic again, as I said, we were exchanging tips on where we found certain Pokemon, and he gave me a tip that along a jetty that I only just explored, funny enough, he found a silhouette of a Vaporeon with 0 footsteps, which means it's lurking there. And I'm like, damn, I gotta search this. So it was like right next to the area we were searching for Dratini. It's like, yep, I think we're gonna have to park the car there sometime and just wait for this Vaporeon to pop up. So if that is the case, we're going on a Vaporeon hunt after we do this Dratini project for Pimp Night. Unfortunately, like, my favourite Pokemon's not even in the game yet, so I can't even search for that. So yeah, that's really cool. Like, there's a good chance I might be able to find a Vaporeon as well. And for those who are wondering where to catch Dratinis, we actually caught it on a kind of like a jetty thing, or a wharf. I think it's called like a wharf, or it might be just called a jetty, but it was like a deck, just overlooking some water. And the funny thing is, there's a Pokespot right behind it, which is why I said the lure module is going to be extremely handy for us. And at the same time as well, there's also a cafe there, so I think we might be purposely having some a lot of breakfast, lunch and dinners at this particular cafe, so we can catch lots and lots and lots and lots of Dratinis for Pimp Night's sake. Other than that, there's not really much I can really say what happened during that entire time. I think I've covered it. I've talked about the incense difference, that it does make a difference. I'm going to try this lure module, see if we can get some Pokemon out of that. The egg thing will be a thing as well. I should be able to hatch the 2k one, considering I walked over 2ks in that one session. 2ks is relatively easy to walk. That's kind of what I walk for my physiotherapy as well. So people should be able to do that one no problems at all. So yeah, there's not really much else I can say at this point in time. And again, I too apologize for not recording all that stuff. I'm gonna have to go out and buy a second battery for my GoPro, so I've always got a spare battery on hand for recording. So anyways, this may be the end of day 2. I'm probably just gonna start editing day 2 now and put up day 3, which will conclude probably anything I do later tonight in that one, and obviously day 3 in that as well, if anything goes on for day 3. So anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I do apologise for this particular video. Shouldn't happen down the track unless something really badly happens. So yeah, until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao!